Alright, so now let's enter properly into the Hall of Paradoxology.
Here at the HOP, Dr. Finkelmeyer and I studied the enigmatic physiological effect of creatures on their caretakers. Follow us.
Dude turned evil because his parents named him Binkelmeyer, didn't he?
That's the last name instead.
Hey, it's a name. It's a name that they chose to stick with despite how silly it sounds.
My god, even in 2011 there were already, jokes about how investors are the stupidest part of a company, and they derailed that by, making imbecile decisions. Some things truly never change.
Also, is the name Binkelmeyer supposed to be kind of like a play on words, sounding similar to Finkelmatter?
I don't know, maybe.
You've no doubt realized is a decoy.
Oh.
I've already moved all our research to the Phonica moon. I know what you're trying to do.
But why are you telling that? Okay, to be fair, this is a message that he recorded like after 50 years, so he probably is, if he's still alive, he might be a bit insane.
Possibly.
Yes. Now this is what I'm talking about. Look at this thing.
It's a rocket.
This is a prototype ornithopter designed for orbital travel.
What is it with these guys and their pets?
Unfortunately, this is the moment where Nefarious wants to strike.
Gotcha! I got you, Doctor!
Hang on, Doctor. Pull him up. Do not
Wow. Saved by Quark.
This is absurdly out of character from Quark.
I guess his hero instincts kicked in. Quark!
Sure, let's go with that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Quark can be dumb, but... Well, okay, you know what, maybe we should just chalk this up to Quark being dumb, but I don't know, I feel like even Quark will remember the fact that Nefarious has literally tried to kill him dead no less than 4 times.
Like, this is the guy that by Quark's own admission, he bullied the shit out of in school.
And he was more or less Quark's nemesis.
Alright,
came to town.
Our next session is in space. Now you're controlling the pod, as you're about to see.
Switching to manual control.
And you're supposed to actually navigate through the same asteroid field where Cronk and Zephyr are.
At long last, space traversal.
And it's slow. Like, there is a purpose properly for that, but I kinda wish it was just a tad faster. I get that they did that properly to make you avoid bumping into asteroids by accident, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, like...
That being said, I still overall like this sequence. It's a bit of a throwback to relatively old games, where, not necessarily like the actual asteroid game, but, something along the same lines, where, you had a relatively slow-moving vehicle in that kind of environment, and you had to control via a very primitive version of tank controls onto the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, in this case, the array partnet is basically immediately programmed to actually follow every single one of your movements. So Crank in this case is not going to fuck around.
Oh, this level must be so much fun when you're playing with or
it's
against
Cronk and
your mates.
Zephyr.
Hey, rookies! We can see you! Hey, hit the horn, Cronk! Looking good out there! Yeah!
That's pretty cool, actually, as a moment, because you spend so much of the game by having Hermes mission controlling because they're stuck here, and, even if you cannot do much, it's still nice that they actually bother to include a moment where you actually pass near them.
That is nice, yeah.
Anyway, you need to, as we mentioned, you need to collect the canisters of gelatonium in order to pass through. Yes, but remember that it is a fuel source in the Polaris Galaxy.
I swear, those green canisters would mess with my Crash Bandicoot muscle memory. Those games have trained me to avoid green objects.
Ah, but you see, Drova, the conveniently placed HUD bar on the top left indicates that it is your fuel.
Of course. Green is good, after all.
You're reaching the planet's perigee.
And see, there you go. It didn't take that much also for us to land. Although I have to note, this is one of those sequences where the 60 FPS, causes a bit of a problem with the landing, so you're not seeing a couple of tinkering that I had to do.
So I guess basically this ship will be our means of space travel.
Well, no, just for this section. While you were mostly on that planet, and you will be, for now on the nearby moon, you still move a bit from one major location to this particular conglomerate of planet and asteroids to another. It's not like Quest for Booty where you're stuck just in the one location.
I guess to their credit, then, this is part of managing to keep pretty much everything very unique. Like,
I mean,
again,
basically the environment, this would pass off as just another, level of the same planet. They just told you that it's part of the moon instead.
of course. But to their credit, they managed to keep the team mechanics relatively unique for each section for the most part. Like, it rarely ever feels like we have to double dip too much. It's not like, say, in Wonderworld, which was all about the double dipping and overlap.
Doctor, I'm sorry to say, but you actually spoiled your location here, so...
Something's weird about these recordings from the Doctor still, like you mentioned. Doctor was a fan of the human centipede, I see.
It's specifically called a craterpede.
Yeah, I've never seen the human centipede.
Don't. It's the first one has a bit of so bad, so good, way of with the acting. But the sequels avoid them like the plague, especially the second. The second is just horrible and mean-spirited for the sake of it.
Wait. Mean-spirited by, human centipede standards?
Yes.
How?
I don't have the heart to tell you. Watch Fatal's review if you truly are curious about it, but I wouldn't even recommend that. Like I said, the movie is just genuinely unpleasant.
I mean, I'm not expecting... I'm not expecting anything light-hearted out of it called the human centipede.
They put it this way, it's not even entertaining, that, in a bad movie kind of, way.
Oh, it's from the Netherlands, so... I'm not sure what the Dutch are known for.
I am ready. Get ready, Ratchet.
Whoa. That was close. I found ammo!
What did they offer you for my energy extractor? Bolts? Power? Your greed is destroying Magnus.
Heads up! More craterpedes!
Oh shoot! 2 crater seeds!
Craterpedes, yes. So, what's worse than 1 craterpede or 2 craterpedes?
So some scientists thought, you know what? Let's give craters life in the most despicable and
it's more
painful
of a
way
case
possible.
of let's have these, type of bug, being grow giant in size and united via electricity and machinery.
Look, it looked like they were like craters that were brought to life by being
No.
together.
The naming that they have craterpedes is because they move through craters, or they live in craters. Similar to this creature instead. The lurker, which is in these acid baths in other craters. Jesus. Clank, no!
Oh, apologies. I lost myself for a second there.
Light them up!
Actually, no, I'm not using the flamethrower. Oh, wait, am I now? Yeah, so now I'm actually lighting up. There you go.
It's like you were hitting him with so many blasts on that middle one, though, that it looked like he was literally glowing.
When fully upgraded, the base weapon starts shooting 3, bullets instead of just 1 in a cone like that. Wow, this craterpede is massive. Oh, but check this out. Because of the weird AI, the craterpede is supposed to turn around, but instead he careens off the cliff.
Huh, what a maroon.
So long, Bowser.
What is wrong with me today?
I don't know.
Ammo here.
Maybe
I
this whole
think, Clank,
atmosphere
that's
has been
because
messing
someone
with
is
your
actually
heads.
emulating this game instead of buying an official copy. There you go. That's the anti-piracy software. Clank starts acting up.
Yeah, if it's like that Mario Party DS one or something, you know, the game purposely glitches out and you have the text box saying you're naughty.
I mean, you know, with Cork acting with the way he did, you know, at the beginning, that would actually fit with having the game having something wrong going on. So maybe that's what happens, you know, with the anti-piracy software. It just, you know, decides to have the character behave in strange ways.
Imagine if they intentionally made a set of creepypasta cutscenes.
I mean, again, to be fair, Spyro 3 did have anti-piracy software, just not the way you think. You would think of the message that Zoe gives you. I don't remember if it's actually true or not, but it's not important. What's important is that with a pirated copy, that as I mentioned to bypass the protection block code, if you arrive at the end with the fight against the sorceress, the game then immediately puts you back at the beginning of the game and overwrites your save with that beginning of the game. Effectively, it doesn't allow you to finish it, you know. Instead, it resets your save file completely. It's actually kind of ingenious.
It's like, okay, you went for all that work, no ending for you.
Nor bonus level for that matter. Which honestly, like, I partially appreciate because I'm sorry to say, the bonus level from Spyro 3 is actually one of the more gruesome experiences that I had to face. Anyway, here's the last gadget that you get, the reflector. It's really a situational kind of shield that makes you stand in position and deflect lasers. You'll be able to see. Thankfully, you get to use it for the rest of the game, so it's not quickly forgotten as the Quake Hammer. Yeah, remember that. We've stopped using it a long time ago. Don't do it. God damn it.
Really, dude?
These turrets do have a quirk sense of humor. Again, here's the thing with the deflector. It really does deflect any laser attack that comes in your way, as long as you hold it up. But you cannot move, only rotate onto yourselves. Obviously, this will be used to great effect for light/laser reflecting puzzles.
Yeah, I was about to say, for something called the reflector shield, you'd think it would, well, reflect those lasers back at him, but nope.
No, for this one it's more of a case of just, you know, blocking them. Especially because you can make an argument that the turrets here have a personal shield of their own in front. You can potentially cheese them by using a weapon like the bomber, which has an arc trajectory, but you can just circle around them, you know, and kill them like that. Like most of the other turret enemies. Although I do find it funny, as you've noticed, that if I kill them with the morphing weapon, the entire thing turns into the boar, not just the operator.
You see, we have fused them with their very weapons to create the perfect killing machine.
Again,
a boar.
You don't question the morphing weapons of this franchise. It really is a losing battle.
Yeah. The scientists were just that good.
Or insane. Or both.
Yes. Both is true, as Futurama has shown us. I love how they still try to press the buttons even when we reach them. It's like they went, well, if I'm gonna die, might as well die doing what I love.
They're busy just programmed to do that. That's their job, basically.
That's the thing. Going off of that first one, he had to notice us there before doing it, essentially. So, and plus, of all the robots, they do have some thought speech, some thought freedom.
Unfortunately, using the morphing weapon on the lurker is a bit tricky because they occasionally, dive in and re-emerge from another place, meaning that it's a bit difficult to actually properly stack the buff that turns them. Oh look, another crater pit. Will this one also fall into the ravine?
Yes!
Let's see.
Just what the technician ordered.
Ratchet answer your question there by saying yes!
Oh, there you go, I managed to kill it beforehand. Honestly, Waves, in terms of, one-liners and exclamations, the next game also takes the cake because, okay, you would think that it would recycle some voice lines from this, and to some degree it does. For example, when a character finds a box of ammo, they would like to say, "Oh, nice, more ammo." Similar to what Ratchet does in this game. The thing is that it's not the same line from this game. They had, James Arnold Taylor re-record the line, but for some reason, as you'll be able to hear, Ratchet sounds almost depressed when he says that in the next game. If you had, enough patience, you heard him, having to say, in a calm and positive manner, saying, "Oh, nice, more ammo," reflecting the fact that he's, overjoyed by, seeing new ammo he collects. In the next game, he sounds almost annoyed or, "Oh no, not this shit again," kind of mood.
Huh.
James Arnold Taylor not wanting to repeat the line.
Maybe. It's weird because the voice direction has been relatively consistent since the first game in terms of quality, so I don't know what happened.
You ready, pal?
Anything during development to suggest there may have been trouble in Paradise?
Not really, because the rest of the dialogues is on par. And hey, we get to use the jetpacks again.
That was a close one. Watch out for Croid's defenses. It doesn't look like he's the kind of Tharpod who likes uninvited visitors.
Unfortunately, there you go. This is connected to the lasers.
Hey Clank, wouldn't it be a lot easier if, we just used your jetpack form?
Jova, remember...
I'm running low on battery power.
Remember, Jova, these games are surprisingly forgetting that Clank is supposed to turn into a giant under specific circumstances. Yeah, that's one thing from the original tetralogy that I forgot for some reason. It will come back in Rift Apart to some degree, you'll be able to see, but... the fact that the Secret Agent Clank was the last game that they used it, it's so weird.
I think part of the issue with the Future series is it wanted to have its cake and eat it, without realizing that, in doing what it wanted to do, it would forget a lot of what was properly established in the original trilogy. Like, okay, the whole Clank had a secret purpose and he was made by the Arbiter of Time and all that jazz really takes a bit of a stretch in logic, given how we literally see him being built elsewhere at the start of the first game. So,
well, like I said, it's more of a case of the soul was infused into, that particular, robot built by the Blarg factory. That's supposedly why also Clank came in compact size to reflect the smaller designs of the Zoni, rather than the bigger, bulky one that the other Blarg robots had.
Still, you get what I mean, though. It's like, well, part of the problem with the Future series is that it forgot a lot of interesting stuff in favor of what it wanted to focus on, essentially, which, okay, I get it. A newer installment should not be forever beholden to the past, because then we just get nostalgia bait. But that doesn't mean that it should forget everything from the past either. Like many things, it calls for balance, nuance, combining the two merits of that sort, essentially.
Or it, suffers from Geoff Johns syndrome. Sorry, from Geoff Johns syndrome by having the retcon, being part of the whole shock value format of saying, "Oh, this is new exciting thing that is adding onto the previous, stuff that you already knew, is more important, even if it doesn't make any sense and it wasn't, foreshadowed whatsoever in the past."
Yeah, Geoff Johns is truly the force behind a retcon. And again, to his credit, a lot of his retcons have helped rehabilitate and save some superheroes' reputations. Oh yeah, the Green Lantern mythos, You know, hey, he did some good stuff with Superman and Brainiac and whatnot. The point is, though, his greatest strength is arguably also his greatest weakness, because sometimes he will retcon stuff that just does not need a retcon, essentially.
Alright, that turret is actually guarding a gold bolt, so I wanna try to be a bit daring today. I can do this all day, game. There you go.
Perfect hit.
Our planet's entire history is a fraud. You're part of it. How could you, Neva?
Oh.
Okay, we've stumbled onto a whole planetary conspiracy, apparently.
Well, remember, that's kind of what happens after the whole experiment. Remember, Nemo Binkelmeyer and Krampus Croid were scientists of theropods, the native species of a planet, but you know, after supposedly that night where Devo supposedly stole the device that Croid was using, Croid did not know what to do, then made the drone Ephemeris in order to trace back Mr. Dinkles, his pet, you know, which, remember, he had even found a particular energy signature in his stomach, and only discovering that Nevo reprogrammed Ephemeris to amplify its original use. Originally it was supposed to just find Mr. Dinkles, you know, and bring it back. Nevo supposedly amplified it so that it turned into the sphere that it is today, which literally picks up monsters of all shapes and sizes from all different planets of the Polaris Galaxy and brings them here to basically create a weird mishmash of an ecosystem for some weird purpose that we don't know yet. So it's more of a case where, you know, the planet's original purpose is kinda lost at this point.
And it seems like a lot of the species that these two were a part of either moved out or died off.
Yes, remember the theropods. They're still present in the planet, but they, you know, are scattered and they just live on their own, not particularly caring about the scientists.
A character having to grapple with the fact that they are quite possibly some of the last few of their own kind. Daring today, aren't we, Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, well, to be fair, the game doesn't bother to bring it too much of attention as apparently with the Lombax says. Into the Nexus is the one that will actually try to call back to what was said in Tools of Destruction and Crack in Time about, you know, the fate of the Lombaxes. Also, Clank, can you please collaborate a bit more? I unfortunately have fucking Mr. Zircon here blocking a bit the laser, but still.
I swear
Clank, at some point you were aiming that laser at me!
To keep you, I give up at this point.
Stupid robot. Mr. Zircon only exists to block the laser. Alright, time for the next Doctor Croid session, speaking of which. In case you're wondering, these are basically just recordings, so...
Are you ready to begin?
Clank, is this about what happened in the last game? Was like seeing me die and you having to contend with your father technically
remember,
being dead
Drova,
and
as far as we know, Clank still never told him about it.
So wouldn't that be
talk about it?
Maybe this is why Clank is acting weird. He's dealing with the trauma of watching his best friend die while learning that his father was also murdered, essentially. But he never confided in it with his friend Ratchet, and keeping it all welled up inside of him is...
Also remember, according to DJ Fixman, Orbus is still alive, just time displaced. But to be fair, that plot point has never been basically solved, so...
I pretty much
it's really a shrug.
Yeah, I really chalk it up to him more or less essentially being dead in the meta sense. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like he's technically alive, but don't foresee him coming back alive anytime soon. Maybe if we have another time-traveling venture, but
That's also the
that's in
weird
the
thing.
cards.
Into the Nexus, one of the major plot points of Into the Nexus is trying to connect itself both to Ratchet and Clank, is to say that one of the major mechanics of that game is a leftover of what happened to the accident that led to the creation of the Great Clock, you know. So the basically tries to connect that, but Orvus is not mentioned really about, you know, about that. Rift Apart's alternate dimension, if I recall correctly, doesn't even have an equivalent of the Great Clock, so it implies the disaster that happened with the Pongoids did not even happen. Anyway, one more lab missing, and then we'll have the Rhino complete. Also, cheese. More cheese.
Well, cheese itself is technically a mold, so maybe if we can ferment it just right...
Depends on the
it
type.
Can be edible.
It's you see, it's a visual representation of you being a rat, you know, lab rat in a maze. It's symbolic and very deep and stuff.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, I say that, but the Marathon franchise kinda runs with that concept, despite the fact that it's at its core just a Doom clone. I mean, old school Doom clone. There was a time where Bungie was actually fairly interesting when they were writing their lores.
Oh, definitely.
Now, to be fair, the lore in the Destiny games is still fairly interesting, and it still implies that they're still running on their super, you know, bizarre universe, connected universe kind of, you know, thing that they have going since the beginning. But it's still very unclear by this point. So,
all I know is,
and considering
like,
enough people have bled from the studio, I get the idea we will never see a conclusion to that.
Maybe someday I'll cover the first Destiny game, but Destiny 2 is in such a
well, it requires so much effort poured into it in order to progress that it requires too much time and effort from our part that it really is not worthy. Especially because, like he said, outside of the lore stuff, the plot in itself is fairly boring.
And now it's non-existent because as Destiny 2 exists now, the lore and narrative aren't present. It's just like, you're grinding to play the game. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Well, MMO style, so maybe you could have fun with other players. No. Like, there still is just the bog-awful progression system because... Of course, the lesson Destiny had to take from the live service market was make the grind unbelievably long so you can ramp up player playtime.
That didn't work so well for Anthem at the end of the day.
It's like they realized, hey guys, if we're free to play, there's one currency we can definitely milk out of the player, their time. Since, yeah, that is a thing some live service games are trying to do, is to crank out player playtime if they can't crank out the money.
Mostly because that way, in investors meeting, the devs can basically say, see, people are really invested in our product because we spend enough time on it.
I swear, like, the progression system being terrible and bogged is, well, pretty much what ruined both the Avengers game and Suicide Squad from the get-go.
I mean,
like, yeah,
you say that, but okay, I cannot speak for the Avengers because I did like the plot that it had, you know, at least at its base. But Suicide Squad killed Justice League also had the unpleasant entire premise to go with it.
I have your back, Ratchet. Is that all you got? This one's mine. Deploying offensive tactics.
That must be Doctor Croid's laboratory. Oh, be careful, rookies.
We're finally towards the end of the Moon system, and as you can see in the background, we're about to reach Doctor Croid's lab.
Hopefully the Doctor has
if he's still alive, that is.
Yeah, if he's still alive. Hopefully he's, you know, settled down, giving himself some nice therapy so that he doesn't try to kill us on sight. Because, okay, I'll admit to his credit, he would have a valid crash out after just everything going up of these recordings.
As I mentioned, this was the time period where stuff like the Portal games were very popular. There was even arguably a reference to that in the second level. You know, and the second game was all about having the super friendly character that you met early on, Wheatley, turning out to be the asshole of, you know, of the game.
Yeah.
I'm curious with, has Stephen Merchant played a lot of bad guys, as far as you know?
I mean, he played a literal Nazi in Jojo Rabbit.
Fair enough. That really has to count for that.
Now that was good teamwork.
Alright, I think we're about to reach. There you go.
Planet Toranux?
Trisimoscope shows an increase in thermokinetic output around the anterior.
Sounds like the Doctor is actually alive.
Confirming my hypothesis that the answer is in the rocks. They can't survive outside.
Oh, then a bit worse for
need
wear.
Dr. Croid?
Is that a tinfoil hat he's wearing?
A lombax.
Yes.
What a remarkable specimen.
Oh.
With such a shiny coat. Oh, you three brought him to the right place. Dr. Frumpus Croid, astrophysicist, paradoxologist, and Lombax mystery?
Dr. Croid,
How
I
very
don't need a
specific.
translator.
I see.
We're here because someone is using your work
Yes?
to bring monsters to Magnus, and we need your help to stop him.
Uh-huh. He's saying he's hungry.
Oh, for the love
Oh,
of...
he's lost it.
Listen, Doctor,
Into the
I
pellet,
respect
Ratchet.
the fact that you're
Well,
insane,
also-
but I'm trying to boost my approval rating.
Quark.
So
Hey.
say we dial down the
But don't you
crazy,
see, Quark
tell us how to
understands
stop
because
evil.
Quark once went crazy himself.
What, implying he isn't crazy now.
Thankfully, Nefarious instead got shit done in the meantime. What would we do without him?
It emits a high-frequency sonar ping to prevent ships from flying into it.
Right. And that frequency would...
Get it?
What?
Ratchet still doesn't
Allow us to
understand nerd
triangulate the location of the
stuff.
charging dock.
Success! It's on the Bitter Rock Plateau!
I'm impressed, Nefarious. You did good.
Fist bump.
Never speak of this to anyone.
We're going to
You're not
stop
telling
Nevo
anyone.
from hurting anyone else, but we could really use your help. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think he needs to poo. Go get a baggie.
Hey, Doc. Make it two.
Of course,
And
Quark.
Ratchet is just
Quark.
stuck in the what the fuck face.
Of course, Quark has to also, you know, jump in for the TMI type of gag.
He went insane after his best friend betrayed him and essentially marooned him for 50 years.
We will actually see Croid again before the end of the game, so don't worry. It's not like just wasting him for this. But still, you know, it's kind of sad.
It's a fictional
All this, hold on.
children's story called Bagog and the Loki. It's about
A Cragmite warrior.
who battles shapeless monsters on an alien planet. I'm downloading it to my Grummel reader right now, and it might take me a while to translate.
Grummel be Kindle.
Just head for the Villarod Plateau. We'll keep you posted.
Remember, this was 2011, so it was, you know, the time where Kindles were actually, you know, particularly starting to become very popular.
Yeah, it was before that time where smartphones could basically just do all that stuff.
Well, I know that Kindles are still, at least in my country, they're still very popular to this day. A lot of people still carry them around because it's more convenient for them instead of using Audibles from Amazon.
We do still have Kindle readers over here, too.
Hold on!
I've seen Sonic Adventure 2, so I think I know how this is going to go!
Watch out, you're gonna crash! Ah!
And they died.
Yeah, everyone died. So join us in the next part where we see what's the aftermath of this crashing. See ya.
See you then.